Let's go. It's the Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. The game starts off with Moors of the Night Watch, a Night Watch brother who slowly unravels the truth about traitors in the area. The farther he goes and finds out who is betraying who, he meets a girl and now is on a mission to protect her and find the secrets behind all the mystery in the north and the south.
Me. But I wouldn't say it was serious. How do you know him?
I fought beside him during the rebellion.
Okay, I'm gonna stop that. I know it's annoying. Well, our hero Alistair, the other main character, is a lord, begins to slowly try to reclaim his land. After 15 years, he returns home only to find out that his land is in a mess. His brother, bastard as in an actual bastard and not a son of a bitch you bastard type, wants to marry his sister, which is just pretty fucking gross, but this is, you know, Song of Ice and Fire, and claim the land. Valar is an interesting bad guy just because of the fact that he's sneaky, he's brutal, and he's just an asshole. Alistair slowly tries to reclaim his land and unravel the truth behind the mystery in King's Landing.
What is this man being accused of?
My lord, this man was seen in the port, where the rioting broke out.
And you suspect that he is responsible for this unrest?
One of our guards was killed in front of the storehouse. Someone must pay for that.
Let him go.
Very well.
The game benefits from you reading the book and even watching the TV show. The game does a good job of explaining characters and backgrounds to you, but it's even more fun to see the characters and areas that you read about in a video game. Going to explore the north, the hideouts, and even King's Landing is both interesting and fun. I also enjoy meeting and chatting with characters from the book. It's always a plus. I love the fact that just like the book, the chapters in this game slowly build the story and it gets really interesting. Like the book, it starts off slow, but then by the end, it's pretty crazy. Twists coming out of nowhere. Nobody is really safe. Anyone could die. While the voice acting isn't top notch, most of the main characters do the job well enough, and the dialogue feels pretty good and straight from the books or the TV show. The story is a big draw to anyone who enjoys the Song of Ice and Fire. I certainly thought very highly of the story, and I found it interesting throughout, especially those endings. What the fuck? Okay, graphics. I mean, you're looking at them, and this is probably going to turn most people away because most people don't like to play with shitty graphics. Graphic-wise, the game is ugly in most ways. It kind of looks like Dragon Age 1, but even on a lower budget. The ugly faces mixed with the bad textures really hold back the title. Nothing really looks amazing, no good effects per se, and even the stiff movements take away from some of the action scenes. What does work is the amount of detail put into the source material. The armor all look like they'd be in the series, especially some of the later on armors, and you know, kind of just look like the book more so than the TV show. And don't get me wrong, while I love the TV series, I feel the game does an even better job of getting the armor feel right, and that's kind of important in this type of game. So while the graphics are definitely below average, they aren't the worst I've seen. It looks like a budget game, but it still feels like a Song of Ice and Fire, just on a budget. Okay, now the gameplay. Hey, that could, you know, if the graphics suck and story's really good, James, the gameplay, how is it? Is it enough to play through? I think so. Gameplay-wise, the game gets a few things right, a few things wrong, and a few things I fucking question. First off, the game has balls. Why, you ask? Why do you ask, does this game actually have balls? You know, balls. Simple, really. Fighting and talking actually feel almost split in this title. Dragon Age had a good balance, but the characters, you would definitely fight more than you would talk in the long run. It's just how it is in most games. In this game, you actually feel like you talk as much as you fight, and that's something to admire, seeing as this TV series is definitely more political and has more talking than just going around slashing people and using magic. The fighting isn't the best system though, but it's hardly broken or terrible. It's a bit slow, but it reminds me a lot of Knights of the Old Republic. You'll queue up 3 moves and watch as your character slash and smash and do all these like little attacks and shit with knives. It's kind of funny watching the knives to their opponents. It's not all that amazing to watch, but since the game gives you a little challenge, there's a good chance that you'll open up your special menu or slowdown menu and pick attacks. Upon opening it up, you'll choose different skills to help you win the battle, from sweeping enemies off their feet, knocking them down with a mace, or slamming them with your shield. The game's attack system definitely gets better as it goes on. You'll have plenty of differences in your characters from Alistair to Moore's fighting style, so it never really gets boring. See, as you can switch back and forth between every chapter with them. Exploring is limited in this game. Besides a few secret passages and hidden treasures, you're mostly going a linear path to the next area. It wouldn't really be a big deal if it was like an adventure action game, but since this is an RPG, and a pretty deep one at that, you can't really grind, making some matches far harder than they should be. Alistair's special ability is to light up rooms. Yeah, it's not all that awesome, but it'll help you find some special items and cool gear. More special ability, a bit more badass, he can skin change into a doggy. A doggy! In your dog form, you can sneak around and kill enemies to help you in advantages in battle. Basically, you'll jump on an enemy, tear out his throat, and then you won't have to fight him because, well, he's dead. You also get to sniff around and find secret items and such to help you. Breaks up the gameplay a bit, and it's not really that bad controlled.
This position would be perfect for an archer. I must talk to the others when I see them again.
You'll chat a lot, and that's good, because the story is so strong, and well, if you aren't a fan of the books, you might find most of these people boring to talk to. And the feeling of the books is special to someone like me who's a big fan of the books. I love talking to people in this game, learning more about them and finding their backgrounds, kind of relating to characters I know in the series. Finding out the secrets, avenging people and killing people, all that's interesting. And well, since talking is a big part, I put that as a plus in the gameplay. Like I said, I love the mix of fighting and talking, and it feels pretty even. However, if you're a fighting type and you don't like a lot of talking, this may be a big pass to you. Okay, so let's be honest here. Game of Thrones, the game isn't perfect. There's some bugs. You either find the gameplay interesting and learn to strike down opponents in different ways, or just get bored because it's not that visually pleasing on the eye. You might find the game contains too much talking. The visuals might be poor for you, and you can't accept it, especially if you enjoy playing AAA titles only. However, this is my review and enjoyment section, and I, as a fan of the books, really enjoyed the game. The graphics aren't pretty, and sometimes the gameplay can get dull, but honestly the story just really draws you in, especially from Chapter 7 onward, and Chapter 11 is just batshit insane. The areas to visit are fun, and you know, it's really cool to see in a video game all these places I read about. The dialogue can crack me up at times, and honestly the game just offers a lot to the fans, and that's something nice to see. Can there be better, more polished Game of Thrones games? Oh yeah, for sure. I hope this developer gets a bigger budget, because they really seem to love this series and they put a lot of heart into it. I'm sure they could create even a better game if they had the money to. With 14 main chapters plus an extra chapter plus an epilogue, the game gives you a pretty good amount to go through. For now, I give them a lot of props creating a good Game of Thrones game, and I score it a 7 and really hope to see them create another Game of Thrones game. For the North! Well, kind of south because Alistair's in the south, but yeah, whatever. Go enjoy.